This story was about the 52 powerful cards called the X-playing cards. Anyone who hold them could gain different kind of abilities, and they were called the players. The story began when someone sneaked in the palace of the Foreland Kingdom to steal the X-playing cards. When a thief, named Iris, arrived at the gate carrying the briefcase which contained the cards, she planted a bomb at the gate. After the bombs exploded, a helicopter behind it rained bullets on those people chasing her. Iris was able to get into the helicopter, and was about to leave. But after a few moments, two men, named Theodore and Owen, came to stop them. Out of nowhere, they suddenly heard a woman's voice that, according to King Julius, it was Lala's cry. Suddenly there was a strong gust of wind that caused the briefcase to be opened, and unfortunately, the cards scattered in different parts of the kingdom. After what happened, there was an immediate operation from the command of King Julius to find the cards. A month later, in Shield City, which was found in place called Spada, there was a man there, named Finn. He was a talented man in pickpocketing, who came from Sunfield's orphanage. When he visited the orphanage, he heard the conversation between the director of the orphanage, named Lindsay, and the owner of the land, where the orphanage was currently built. The owner of the land told Lindsay that they should leave because an apartment was going to be built in the area. In order for Finn to help Lindsay, he tried to sell what he stole from others, but unfortunately, the teller did not give any value to those items. Then decided to go to the casino, hoping that he might be lucky in the games. He got most of the wins in the poker game until the other players lost all their bets and decided to leave. Suddenly, a man called Lucky came there and asked to play with him. Lucky won multiple times as if he was doing something extraordinary, until Finn finally lost all his bets. While Lucky was playing another game, Finn approached him to steal its playing card, but a tray of glasses accidentally fell on him from the second floor. When he stood up, he pretended that he wanted to be Lucky's apprentice while trying to get the card again, but some passers-by hit him. When Lucky won again, a casino employee approached and invited them both to the VIP room. When they entered the VIP room, they were told that the management suspected them of cheating in the game. They were about to be arrested by a casino employee, but a man pulled out a card similar to Finn's card. It used the power of a card which was also an X-playing card to kill the two casino employees. His name was Bobby, who was also a player. He took Lucky's card, which was the reason why Lucky always wins in any game he would play. Lucky could not handle his fear and immediately took out the card and gave to Bobby. But a man, named Chris, came and shot Bobby. Chris was also a player who had a mission to get Lucky's card. Because of this, he and Bobby fought to get the card. Lucky was about to try to leave, but he slipped and was accidentally shot by the gun from a man that Bobby killed. While Bobby was attacking Chris, Lucky tried to get his card back, but Bobby just killed him. Finn tried to get away from this chaos, but he bumped into Bobby. Bobby got suspicious and immediately checked his coat. He found out that Lucky's card was taken by Finn. Bobby managed to catch up with him. Chris was also driving and bumped into Bobby's car, which caused the accidents and blew both cars. Finn managed to survive and got out of the car, then Chris walked towards him to try to get Lucky's card. But suddenly, Bobby attacked Chris, who was hit on its forehead. He also tried to attack Finn, but he was surprised that Finn used the power of its card. Finn made a gun appeared and the bullet collided on Bobby's attack until it injured Bobby's arm. After that, Chris got up again, which surprised Finn, for he was thinking that Chris was killed from Bobby's attack. They exchanged gunfire until Chris' companions arrived and immediately attacked Finn. When Finn woke up, he was in a room with Chris' colleagues, named Bernard, VJ and Wendy. Bernard asked Finn to drink the tea first, then VJ decided to untie him. While having conversation, he was surprised that they knew almost all the information about him. A few moments later, Chris also came, who was holding Finn's card. Finn approached him and was about to take it back, but Chris just pointed a gun in his mouth. The tension in the room lessened when their leader called to tell Bernard that they were going to enlist Finn in the group. After that call, Bernard started to explain everything about the X-playing cards to Finn. He added that these cards were taken but currently scattered in the nations of Spada, Lozenge, Silphium and Pelastic. In order to avoid chaos due to the possible abuse in using the power of the cards, their group was secretly assigned by the king to find and gather these cards again. But Finn did not care about this. So Bernard told him that he would be an employee of Pinnacle Automobile's Old Maid branch, and become a member of the High Card. Finn was stunned and learned that in the eyes of the public, the group ran a business, but the store was surrounded by various weapons that they could legally use by the king's order. Bernard added that the person they fought the other night was Bobby, who was a member of the Klondike family. They are recognized as the largest mafia organization in the Foreland, and also wanted to collect the X-playing cards. He told Finn that this group would definitely try to find him. But if he worked with them, he could protect his card and make more money. When Bernard told him the amount of his salary, Finn agreed immediately, and Bernard returned his card. Chris was assigned to be Finn's mentor, and they immediately start grooming Finn on what he would wear while he's at work. While they were on shopping, Chris told him the power of his card, and it was to make him immortal. After they paid the items, they went to a restaurant to eat, when the waiter was pushed by a customer towards Finn. Finn tried to stop the fight, and when the customer was about to punch him, Chris stopped its arm. The man could do nothing with Chris's strength, so he was forced to leave the area. The next day, Chris picked up Finn, and for his first mission, they would fight against a criminal who also had an X-playing card. When they meet the man, Finn remembered that this was the waiter they helped at the restaurant the other day, named Robert. While they were fighting this man, Wendy was able to defeat the other companions of Robert in the armored van. Since the bullets from Finn's gun could not take down the enemy, Chris brought the enemy and drove the car to the sea. When the enemy was drowned, its power was removed, but since Chris could not open the car's door, Finn shot the glass window to save him and helped Chris lift Robert out of the water. When they returned to the store after the mission, Finn found out that the number 2 cards were the weakest of all. The next day, while he was on his way to work, he saw 2 men abducting another man. He saw a scooter and used it to chase the criminals, named Carter and Jake. They wanted their victim, named Leo, to call his father to apologize and also give $10 million as compensation. But Leo answered that he did not know his father's number. Fortunately, Finn managed to stop Carter's car. When the abductors got out of the car, they had no idea that Finn had taken Leo. Finn took Leo to a restaurant, but instead of thanking him, Leo scolded Finn for the trouble he caused on the road. Carter and Jake arrived there, then Finn found out the real reason why they kidnapped Leo. Finn tried to calm down these men, but they ended up fighting, while Leo did not care and just enjoyed his coffee. Suddenly, the policeman led by Detective Sugar came there and arrested Carter and Jake. Finn thought that everything was over, but he was also arrested because he took the scooter, and with Leo, they would be made as witnesses in the case against Carter and Jake. While they were at the police station, Finn said something about Leo's father which offended Leo, so he decided to get out, and Finn followed him. When Sugar returned, Finn and Leo were no longer in the room. After her captain saw the information about the background of Leo and Finn, he told Sugar to leave the 2 alone if she still valued her life. On the other hand, Carter and Jake were locked up in another room, but Nix helped them to escape. She was also a holder of a card, and they planned to find Leo again. While Finn and Leo were walking outside, Finn bought Leo something to eat and apologized for what he had said about Leo's father. They had a talk and Finn told him about his past, including the accident he had experienced that caused him to lose his memory. Since he could not remember his family anymore, he also did not know the feeling of hearing negative things about his parents. Then they decided to go home, and while on the train, Nix's group confronted them. Nix threatened and set the train on fire. Because of this, Leo was forced to go with them to their hideout. At the enemy's hideout, while the group worshipped the god that they recognized, Finn was able to free himself from his handcuffs. After the ritual and when they noticed what happened, Finn used his card to fight them. When Nix was about to hit Finn with her attack, Chris, who's riding a car, suddenly came there and blocked Nix's attack. Chris looked for Leo to give him the money that he brought. But he was surprised that Finn was there too. When Leo got the money, he brought it in front of Nix's group, and used his Never No Dollars card. Leo scattered the money in the air, and with it, he created a bazooka and pointed it at Nix's group. Nix tried to counter it with using her power, but it was no match on the strength of Leo's attack. Because of this, Leo defeated Nix and they got her card. When they returned to the store, it was the time that Finn found out that Leo was the manager of their branch. Leo gave the card that they got from Nix to their leader, named Theodore, who was also his father, and his secretary named Owen, who was also there. One night after their work, they had a drink. Then they told Finn things that he should always remember. One of these was that he should not let Wendy pull out her sword in any fight. The next day, while Finn accompanied one of their clients on a test drive, Chris was sent on a mission. Suddenly, Wendy received a call from Chris to let them know what was currently happening in his location, and the other information about the enemies. After Chris was hit by the bullets while rescuing civilians who got the chance to escape, the enemies also fled the area. VJ immediately prepared to back up Chris, but Wendy also decided to go with him even though she was ordered to stay in the store. Finn saw Chris who was chasing the enemies, so he pretended that he needed to pee and left his client for the meantime. The enemies managed to escape from Chris after he crashed into the fire hydrant, then Finn caught up with him. While the enemies were on the road, VJ's power was able to stop their car. Wendy also arrived there, so the opponents were forced to get out of the car while holding a hostage. Wendy used her ace of spade card, which was called the Love and Peace. She immediately rushed at them, and with her great speed, the opponents could not even defend themselves from her attacks. When she broke the helmet of one of them, she was surprised to see that the person looked like the hostage. When she turned around, VJ had been stabbed in his back by what they thought was a hostage earlier. The enemy introduced himself as John, who was also a player and a member of Klondike. His power was to create his clones up to the maximum number of 5. The clones attack Wendy, but every time she killed a clone, John would immediately create a new one. It was the moment that Wendy decided to pull out her sword. After that, there was a change in her physical appearance and in her attitude. VJ immediately informed Finn about this, and Chris said that whenever Wendy pulled out her sword, it was love and peace that controlled her body, and they called it Love P. Love P was enjoying her time while killing John's clones, until John gave up and passed out because of fear. To get Wendy back, VJ tried to take the sword from Love P, but it did not work. Leo came there in a helicopter and put Love P in a steel cage, but Love P just cut it open and immediately attacked them. Luckily, VJ managed to save Leo and the helicopter's pilot. After a few moments, Chris and Finn also arrived, but Love P immediately attacked Chris. Love P repeatedly attacked using her sword until Chris got an opportunity to hold it and asked Finn to shoot. After Finn hit the sword with multiple bullets, Love P let go of the sword, causing her to lose control over Wendy's body. After that, she lost consciousness. Wendy dreamed of her father, and when she woke up, she was already at home. Finn was also there, who immediately left, and when he got out of the building, he remembered his client whom he left behind. After the incident at the bank, Sugar saw Chris from the recorded video of the cameras, so she wanted to investigate it. Sugar could not understand why all cases involving Pinnacle were mysteriously and immediately dismissed. One of their colleagues came there because John said that he wanted to talk to Young. But Young thought that he would let Sugar be the one to face John. When Sugar confronted him, he insisted that Young was the one he wanted to talk to, because he wanted to ensure his protection while in the care of the policeman. He was so scared because the Klondike members would surely kill him after losing his card. So Sugar made sure that she would not let anything bad happen to him. John agreed to tell everything he knew about the Klondike in exchange for his safety. So Sugar instructed her colleague to put John under witness protection. Meanwhile, Young called Theodore about the incidents involving Pinnacle. Theodore did not answer this directly, instead he warned Young to be careful with Ban Klondike. He even described him as a snake that would bite him even though they had close relations. Young asked him what really happened in the palace a month ago, but Theodore did not answer this either. Sugar began to follow the Pinnacle employees, and she observed that they had no connection to the Klondike's group. But she still would not stop investigating them. One day, there was a gathering at the Klondike's mansion and Young attended it. Before he entered, he saw Bobby and pissed him off because he found out that only a newbie beat him, and it seemed like it was something that Bobby should be ashamed of. Even though Bobby was annoyed, he could not do anything about Young's insults on him. When he was inside the mansion, Young noticed famous people who attended the event. When Finn walked into the place he was staying, he thought that a member of the Klondike was following him, so he chased the person, but it turned out to be Sugar. When Ban came out, he gave a speech in front of the visitors. Then one of their members, named Tilt, approached and whispered something to him. They presented their alleged member who betrayed their organization. After removing the cover from its head, it turned out to be John, who was brought by Sugar's assigned officer on him, and this surprised Young. Ban took his hands off from John's head, and a force turned John's head until he died. When Sugar took Finn and on their way to the police station, their car was suddenly hit by a school bus. The bus slowly floated in the air, so Finn begged Sugar to let him go, in which she quickly did. Before the bus was crashed on them, they successfully got out from the car. Finn saw a woman with an umbrella approaching them, so he immediately used the power of his card, which surprised Sugar. When Finn shot at the woman, it was blocked by a trash can which was being controlled by the stranger, named Nachi. Nachi was able to control Finn's gun and strangle Sugar. Then she controlled Finn's hand to point the gun at Sugar's head and fired. But Sugar was not hit by it. Instead, Nachi just warned them to leave Klondike alone. On the other hand, when Ban came out, Young waited to ask him about what happened in the palace a month ago. Young knew that Klondike attacked the palace that day, so he was asking Ban where he took the cards. Because he observed that since that day, the players had started to appear. Ban seemed not bothered, then mentioned the ex-blind and warned Young not to trust Theodore. Meanwhile, Sugar seemed to be losing her mind after what happened when she witnessed the abilities shown by Finn and Nachi. Because Finn could not calm her down, he tied her to the car and left. The next day, Young informed Sugar that John's dead body was already found. She was shocked, but Young said that despite this, he still had a lot of trust on her. One night, Tilt gathered all the Klondike members to announce John's death. He also told them to prepare for a mission. One day, Leo's group went on a cruise ship where the auction of the equipment of the 52 Knights and the 5 of Diamonds card would be held. Their opponent in the auction was the CEO of Who's Who Company, named Norman Kingstadt. While Finn and the others were in a room and watching the interview of Norman, they informed Finn of other information about Norman, including his 2 secretaries, named Blist and Brandy, who were also players according to Wendy. Their mission there was to replace the real card with a fake one before the conduct of the auction. Leo went to them and they started the plan and the steps that they must do to carry out the mission. When the auction was about to start, they also started to act, and Finn was assigned to steal the key. He gave it to VJ, who was pretending to be a waiter, and passed it on to Wendy. Then Wendy took care of the security who was assigned to bring the card to the stage. While Chris replaced the security personnel, then VJ took the security card and handed it to Chris. Chris managed to get the card holder and head to the elevator. At that moment, VJ changed what was visible on the elevator camera so that the security could not see when Chris would take the real card and replace it with a fake one. When the auction for the card was about to start, Norman asked for a break to go to the bathroom. Before Chris could change the card, there was a sudden brownout, and he immediately felt that Blist was behind him. It attacked Chris, which caused the fake card to be burned, so Chris used the power of his card. Norman knew that Leo's group would do something in the auction to get the card, so he sent Blist. Chris and Blist continued to fight, and when Blist's power damaged the radio he was using, Leo's group could no longer contact him. Leo tried to contact Wendy and Finn, but it turned out that Wendy was already drunk, while Finn was on his way to see Chris even though he was not feeling well. The auction had started on the card even though it had not arrived yet, and Norman started it with an amount of 500,000. But Leo would not let him have it, and bet on it for 600,000. While Chris and Blist were fighting, the power came back, and Finn came there too. But because he was not feeling well, he was not able to help Chris. Blist caught him and made him his hostage. The bidding had reached 1 million, and no one among Leo and Norman would want to lose. Chris decided to give up on Blist. Suddenly he punched Blist and kicked the card holder. Finn chased after it, but he couldn't stop it because of his sickness. Since Norman was the last bidder in the amount of 10 million, Leo was unable to bet again because of Finn's vomiting, so Norman won the card. A few moments later, a helicopter came there and removed the part of the stage where the card was placed. It's turned out that Klondike member did it and successfully got the card. A few days later, they received information about another card holder. It was the girl named Chelsea. Chris and Finn tried to get the card from her, but she soon found out Finn's attempt to get the card, so she sprayed him on his eyes. She used the 2s of diamond card and attached Chris and Finn's hands together before running away. Using Chelsea's social media account, VJ saw her current location, so Chris and Finn immediately went to the place. When they arrived in the area, they find it difficult to catch Chelsea with their hands clasped together. Because of this, Chelsea was able to push them into the pool and escaped from them again. They looked for Chelsea every day, but she could always find ways to escape from them. One night, they saw her while walking in the alley. When they caught her, they found out about Chelsea's plan why she wanted to use the card. She said that if she would find her soulmate, she would use the power of the card so that she would not be separated from this man anymore. Chris tried to negotiate with Chelsea in exchange for the card, but Chelsea did not agree to this because she could see Chris' true personality. When Chelsea left, Finn did not let Chris follow her and decided that they should go home first and think of a good plan. After they ate, they checked Chelsea's social media account but there was no update, so they went to sleep. Finn had the same dream that he always had, where there was a huge fire and a knight attacked him which made him woke up. It turns out Chris was not asleep yet, so Finn told him about his past. According to the doctor, it might be because of the trauma from the incident that happened when he was 7 years old. He could not remember much about it, but he knew that his parents and his sibling died there. Suddenly, Chris told Finn not to tell anyone what they would do the next day, even to the high card members. The next day, they went to see a woman and Finn had no idea that it was Chris' sister, named Michelle. Because Chris did not tell everything to Michelle, Finn was forced to play along on Chris' favor. While they were having a snack, Michelle excused herself and went to the restroom. They were surprised when Chelsea approached them, who was also a part-timer there. It was only a few moments, when Michelle came back to them, who thought that Chelsea was his brother's friend. Chelsea also pretended and acted according to Chris' favor. Michelle invited her to the riverside too. Chris was surprised when Chelsea agreed to come along, but Chelsea said that she would take revenge to show Chris' true personality to his sister. But no matter what Chelsea did, Chris had already prepared things to counter her plans. While they were walking, Michelle suddenly collapsed and vomited blood. They immediately approached her, and Chris begged Chelsea to remove the contact between him and Finn. When Chelsea removed the power of the card on them, Chris quickly rushed Michelle to the hospital. At night, the doctor talked to inform Chris of Michelle's true situation, which shocked him because Michelle did not tell him about it. Michelle was not supposed to be released from the hospital yet, but she was just running away to show Chris that she was okay, so her older brother would not have to worry anymore. When Michelle woke up, she talked to Finn and Chelsea, who found out that her and Chris' parents were already gone. When Chris returned to Michelle's room, he did not tell Michelle her true condition. But Chelsea knew that Chris was just lying. So Chris told her that this was what he think would be better for his sister. Then Chelsea promised that she would voluntarily give the card to them when the day come that she no longer need to use its power. After what happened, they went to the bar where they always hang out and saw Chelsea, who was already an employee there. One day, Finn visited the orphanage to celebrate Lindsay's birthday. That night at the party, someone suddenly entered the room and it turned out to be Bobby, which surprised Finn. Lindsay approached him thinking that he was an acquaintance of Finn. And when Bobby was about to use his power on Lindsay, it was when Finn used the power of his card and pointed the gun at Bobby. Then Bobby started attacking Finn, so Lindsay immediately evacuated the kids to safety. Bobby set the orphanage on fire and his fight with Finn continued inside the room. While Lindsay was asking for help, a kid named Andy noticed that Sam was not with them. Due to the rapid spread of the fire, Finn once again remembered some memories of his past. Suddenly, he saw Sam passed by the door, so he followed him while Bobby continued to attack him. When Sam got his book, they left the room together, but Bobby stopped them. While Finn dodged Bobby's attacks, Sam dropped his book. After countering Bobby's attack, they decided to go back and escape through the window. Due to the explosions in the different parts of the building, Finn's head suddenly hurt. Bobby immediately went to them. When Finn saw that the other children were prepared to help, so he told Sam to jump from the roof, while he would face Bobby. Sam jumped and was safe, then his fight with the enemy continued. When he got close to Bobby, he punched him while holding his gun, and with its strong force, Bobby was thrown away. But Finn was surprised to see that Bobby was holding two cards who used them at the same time and mentioned the X hand. Because of this, Bobby immediately healed his wounds and acquired new power. He was thrilled with the strength of the new power that he felt. He managed to catch Finn, and even though his body was hit by bullets, he could easily turn back to normal. Bobby brought Finn inside the house, and he told him what he found out about Finn's past. After hearing everything, some events from the past were added to Finn's memories that made him fell to his knees. Bobby grabbed Finn's hair, but someone suddenly attacked him and hit him to his side, which caused an explosion. After Finn's wounds were treated, Lindsay approached him. Then Finn asked Lindsay if he just lied to him about his parents' death. He told him that he remembered that the cause of his family's death was not a road accident. That there was also a fire in their house and a black knight who attacked them. 2 weeks later, an unidentified terrorists bombed the capital and it caused chaos. The mission of the High Card members was to find and capture the terrorists because they knew that those were definitely players too. While evacuating the princes, Nachi killed the crown prince, named Dylan. On the other hand, Chris saw two suspicious men in the distance, so he confronted them. But one of them attacked him, and the two men quickly escaped. The next day, Theodore went to the king to offer his condolences. They knew that it was because of the X-playing cards that this thing happened over again in history, whenever the bad guys got their hands on the cards. This was the reason why the king wanted to keep the cards hidden forever. After the king left, Ban appeared to him, and Theodore knew that Klondike was the culprit in the bombing and the assassination of the prince. Ban told him that it was only necessary to use the cards because this was their purpose. Then Ban also left there immediately. When Theodore came out, he instructed Owen to summon the High Card members for the mission. After Chris visited Michelle, Bernard called him for a gathering of all High Card members. Since Finn was not yet back for 2 weeks since the incident at Sun Fields, Bernard was also worried about him. When they all arrived at their meeting place, they were told that Theodore's orders to immediately gather all the cards, and the information on the current holders were contained in the folder. Wendy and VJ were assigned to go to Silphium, while Leo would go to Neville. Then Chris was assigned to go to the polo stick and he should take Finn with him. Before Chris went to Finn's place, he went first to check the sunfields. While Finn was still in his room and thinking about what happened in the sunfields, his memories were slowly coming back to him. When Chris came to him, Finn said that he no longer had a reason to work because the sunfields was gone. Chris immediately understood what Finn was going through and decided not to force Finn to come with him. When Chris left, Finn opened the door of his room. He saw a chocolate bar left by Chris on the doorway. While the two members of Klondike, named Jasper and Lex, were at the bar, Jasper saw a piece of paper at the woman's dress. What was written there was the location which Chris's group planned to go. Jasper thought that this was their chance to get the cards from High Card members and be promoted to higher position in the Klondike family. When Chris was about to board the train, he saw Finn running towards him because Finn decided to join the mission. While on their travel, Finn checked the information on the girl they needed to meet, named Aya. A few hours later, they arrived at the station where they were going to get off. But before they got out of the train, Jasper was there waiting for them. Jasper suddenly used the power of his card to threaten them and tried to get Chris and Finn's cards. He also made the people on the train as hostage, but Chris was not worried about it because he was immortal and whatever happens on the train, Jasper would also be affected by it. This annoyed Jasper and had second thoughts on his plan. While Lex was just waiting at the bridge where the train would pass. Because Jasper was running out of time, he destroyed the entire cover of the wagon that they were in. When Lex saw them, he used the power of his card to crush the part of the cliff where he was standing to fall on the bridge. When Jasper was about to attack Finn, but Chris kicked him causing Finn to fall down the train. Chris tried to drop him from the train. When the train operator saw the block on the tracks, he immediately pushed the brake, causing Chris to let go of Jasper. Chris was about to go to Lex when Jasper stopped him. While Finn survived his fall and was seen by a woman with a dog. When he woke up, he was at the woman's house. He got a closer look at her earring, and he remembered the woman that they were looking for, named Aya. Aya noticed that Finn was worried about his card, so she said that she knew that he worked with Theodore as a High Card member. Finn was surprised that Aya knew this, so she said that she was also a member of the High Card before. When Leo and the others got back, they immediately found out what happened to the train that Chris and Finn were on. But because of Theodore's orders, they could not go to the polo stick even though Wendy and VJ wanted to go there. Since Finn was worried about Chris, they watched the news on TV to see what happened on the train they were on. When Aya found out that Finn's companion's name was Chris, she recognized him immediately. Meanwhile, Jasper took Chris to a barn to get Chris's card. He was annoyed because no matter where he searched on its belongings, he could not find Chris's card. Lex looked for Finn in the river where he fell and found a house not far away. While Finn was eating, Aya talked about the times when she was still a High Card member with Theodore and Chris's father, named Tyler. One day, there was a fire at Tyler's place where they were staying and Chris was seriously injured. Tyler intended to use the X-hand but Theodore did not agree to it because the king forbid using the cards for personal reasons. No matter how much Tyler begged Theodore, he did not agree to him and ordered Aya to take the cards which Tyler was holding. But Aya refused to do it and came out of the room. When Theodore was about to kill Chris, Aya used her power to stop him. Because of this, Tyler had the opportunity to use the X-hand and it saved Chris, but it cost Tyler's life. Since then, Aya suddenly left Pinnacle and never informed other High Card members of her location. Until she got to this place with her dog, named Roddy, and settled to live there. He knew Theodore was wrong, but he did not expect that the card's power would cause Tyler's death. Chris found out that Lex was already looking for Finn, and when Jasper said something bad about Finn he headbutted him. Finn was about to leave her house when Aya gave him her card, but they suddenly felt an earthquake. So when they get out, they saw Lex, who immediately attacked Finn. Aya borrowed her card from Finn to fight Lex, and she managed to save Finn from Lex's attack. Aya's card power was able to pull anything and used it to attack or defend herself. She started to attack Lex, but he survived from these attacks. Lex positioned itself in the open area so that Aya could not use her power against him. After Finn shot at him, he locked Finn up with blocks of solid ground. Aya once again tried to attack Lex, but he destroyed the ground where she was standing, causing her to fall. Suddenly, a car came there and caught Lex's attention, which he also attacked. It turned out to be Chris, who got out of the car and quickly kicked Lex. Then Finn shot the enemy too, and it was followed by Aya's attack, causing them to finally defeat Lex. When Finn got Aya's card again, Chris shot him, which surprised Aya. Then Chris also left there immediately, as if he was planning to do something that he did not want to tell Finn. When Finn woke up, he was already in the Pinnacle shop with Bernard. Leo comes there and immediately asked him about Chris's whereabouts. Finn found out that Chris took Lex's card, and since the X-playing card was not easily destroyed, Chris intended to target where Finn put Aya's card to keep him alive. Because of what Chris did, he had been removed from the High Card, and was now on the wanted list by the order of Theodore. Finn wanted to talk to Chris first to find out his reasons, but according to Leo they were currently on a mission at the palace to protect the king and the princes. Leo knew that the higher officials did it on purpose so that they could not take action on this. He added that Owen was currently taking action to find Chris, while Ban and the Klondike members were in a tunnel and were prepared to attack. Chris and Chelsea met the same day, and Chelsea handed over what he asked her to hide. When he opened it, the other number 5 cards were there, which Chris had secretly collected. Chris was about to leave when Sugar came to arrest him, but Sugar's men aimed their guns at Chris, who managed to avoid the shots, and quickly hid behind the trash can. Sugar immediately pulled Chelsea to leave the place. Chris suddenly heard an explosion and saw that the policemen were down, which was done by Nachi. So he immediately got in the car and drove away. While Finn was at the shop, Lindsay came to visit him. Lindsay showed a letter to rebuild Sunfield's orphanage, and it had a check amounting to $200,000 with Chris's name on it. Finn suddenly remembered Chris' sister, and he has a hunch that Chris might do the same thing that his father did so he could save Michelle. He quickly left there to go to the hospital where Michelle was confined. He also remembered the previous missions that involved the number 5 cards. While they were in the palace, Leo was uneasy about Chris and Finn's situation. When his father asked him if Prince Noah came out of the room, they suddenly heard an explosion. When Theodore peeked outside, he saw the big hole created by the enemies who already attacked and was fighting against the palace's guards. Leo's group immediately used the power of their cards to join the battle. While Sugar and Chelsea were together and talking about Chris, Sugar received a report about the attack on the royal hospital. From the description of the attacker, they immediately thought of Chris. When Finn came to Michelle's room, she was no longer there, and he saw a paper with a number written on it. He called it right away and he talked to Chris. Chris told Finn about his plans and what he did to collect all the number 5 cards. He also mentioned that he sees his old self on him. Finn tried to convince and told Chris to cancel his plan, but Chris had already decided to do it. When Chris got out of the hospital, Owen came there and shot Chris, but even though he was hit in his head, it had no effect on him because of his card. Due to Finn's disobedience to Theodore's order, Owen also fired Finn from his job. Finn was angry that Owen shot Chris, and Finn told him that he would surely not let Chris use the X-hand. When Finn was about to leave to follow Chris, he was blocked by Owen's men. They knocked Finn against the wall and it weakened him. When the opponents were able to enter the palace, the High Card members were the ones who faced them. Even in the middle of the battle, they were still thinking about Chris, but they could not leave because of their situation and Theodore's order. When Sugar and Chelsea arrived at the hospital, they saw Finn unconscious and was being carried by Owen's men. Sugar approached them immediately. After they released Finn, it was the moment that Finn got a chance to escape and used Sugar's car. Sugar also took the key of a car from these two men and followed Finn. When Chris and Michelle passed through a checkpoint, Chris presented their fake ID. They were about to leave when one of the policemen recognized Chris's jacket on their list. When Chris was about to use his card, someone suddenly attacked the area, which caused the big hole on the road. It turned out to be Ban, who liked the style of Chris to get the number 5 cards. He told Chris to just follow his heart, and then they left right before the police arrived. Chris wondered why Ban did that, but he did not care about it anymore. What was important to him now was to save his sister Michelle. Chelsea was shocked when she learned from Finn that Chris was planning to sacrifice his life to save Michelle. When they talked about their previous date, they remembered Michelle's last wish before she collapsed. It was a Ferris wheel ride that Chris promised her that they would do next time. They immediately thought that it was possible for Chris to bring Michelle to the pop park. Bernard suddenly appeared on screen of the vehicle and confirmed that there was an SUV car heading towards the location. This time Bernard also mentioned the radio that he put on Finn's clothes. Bernard asked Finn if he was willing to do what was needed to help Chris, even if it would make him look like an enemy of the country. Finn replied that he did not care about it, and that he would do everything to help Chris. Finn noticed Nachi ahead, who took control of their car, which caused them to get into an accident. Fortunately, they survive it, and when Nachi was about to attack again, Chelsea saved Finn and they managed to get away. But Chelsea was injured on her right leg, so she sent Finn to leave first and follow Chris. Bernard immediately informed Leo that Finn was on his way to see Chris. Because of this, Leo begged his father if they could accompany Finn once they finished off the enemies. But Theodore told him that it was no longer necessary because Owen would take care of it. It was that moment when Leo got angry and created missiles to immediately destroy all their enemies. When he entered the room, he was surprised that his father, the king and the princes were not there. They were already in Theodore's office, and turned out that their only mission was to give Theodore time. So Leo talked to Vijay and Wendy about their plan to help Finn in its mission. Meanwhile, Nachi continued to chase after Finn, until Wendy came there in her Love P form to help him. Bernard also came and immediately asked Finn to get on the car. Because of this, Love P and Nachi fought, and after a while, Sugar also came and witnessed the extreme fight. Sugar was angry because the two were destroying the city, but she did not have the courage to shoot them. Young came there and shot Nachi. Because of this, Love P got a chance to attack Nachi and defeated her completely. While Love P was celebrating, Young shot something above her that fell, which hit Love P and knocked her unconscious. Nachi still managed to get out of there even though she was already injured. When Chris and Michelle arrived at the pop park, they rode the Ferris wheel. He immediately started the X-hand, which was seen by Finn from distance. Leo and Vijay caught up with them while riding a truck, and with the help of Leo's power he created a shortcut road using the money towards Chris' location. But when the money inside the truck ran out, the road was cut off, so Bernard gave Finn his card. Before Finn fell, he shot on one of the cards that Chris was using to stop the X-hand. When Michelle regained her consciousness, Chris weakened and passed out. Using Vijay's power, he also saved Finn and Bernard from falling. They took Chris to the hospital, and when he woke up, he immediately looked for his sister Michelle, who was just on the other bed near him. After what happened, the shelled city was at peace, and since the last attack on the palace, Klondike had not taken any action against them. Pinnacle put Finn and Chris back to work, but because Finn became an employee before Chris, this time, Chris became the junior of Finn. This is the final episode of High Card Season 1. I hope you like it and give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel so you won't miss newly uploaded videos. Thank you for watching.